Ugh, this lighting just seems...
This broadcast is brought to you is inappropriate for all ages. Right here on Gaming Division, this is the play spot. This broadcast is brought to you is inappropriate for all ages. Right here on Gaming Division, this is Twitch. Fucking Twitch. Ah!
Oh man!
I was watching Mary stream over on the Weirdlings, and so that's why it was unmuted. I don't know, Twitch is the #1 problem child out of anything that I broadcast on. And today, we are broadcasting on bloody anything I can. YouNow, Fire Talk, Ustream, Twitch, and YouTube. Sid, how do you feel about that?
I don't know. I don't know about that. It seems like so many places, you know?
There are so many places. I totally agree. But this is my good friend Sid Cam, or Creepy Campy. I did mean to ask, what am I supposed to be calling you?
Yeah, whatever you want. I don't care.
Creepy bitch? Sid Vicious?
Insidious.
That's actually a good one. Yeah, why don't you use that? Maybe that can be your, when you get serious in gaming, you'd be like, hey, I'll break out the Insidious, yo.
Just get all Insidious on your ass.
If it makes you feel any better, I can't see us on Fire Talk or YouNow, so...
Oh boy.
I don't know what the hell that means. I don't care, not for this, not for Gaming Division, not for the play spot. We're above and beyond, and we will eventually be on SoundCloud and Podbean. So, say hi to the audio people.
Hey!
Hey. But speaking of the Weirdlings, this show is designed to go on right before Dominion of Estland over on the Weirdlings. Today is a rerun. They're going to rebroadcast last week's show. So they go every other week. But it's a 3-hour block, so 2 weeks is, I think, a good time for people who are busy enough.
Yeah.
And then especially if you want to go back and catch up. Because jumping into the middle of a story like that, well, I can understand some hesitation there.
Definitely.
Yeah, how would you feel about that, jumping into a D&D campaign in the middle somewhere?
I think if I had just like a brief overview of what was going on, like if I was going to be like a part of it or just watching it.
No, to watch it. I mean, that's a different thing to jump in and play.
Yeah, I think I would want to watch from the beginning.
But it's funny you mention that, though, because they actually, this last episode, brought on a new player, and Jen had to get out of the old one, because they moved the time slot, and she can't always do Sunday evenings.
Oh.
So they brought in a new player, and they did like auditions and stuff. So it was interesting to see that kind of go on. And War Scarlet's on this weird indefinite hold because they had lost all the audio, so they're trying to recreate it. Because you can't just go back and replay the campaign.
Right.
Yeah, it's a weird bird like that.
They should just do like a bad lip reading thing.
And that's what I said. Like, I was like, that would be so funny. Like, switch up. Have Amanda play Brandon. Have Mark play Abby. Abby play Mark or Amanda. And then it would honestly be really funny. But they don't like to do funny. They'd rather do like the perfect shot type thing. So
sure.
That's a huge blow that they lost their audio.
Yeah, that really sucks.
But speaking of Brandon, he's over on Iffy Wizardry on Wizardry? I don't know if there's an R there or not.
Wizardy?
I think about it. Well, he doesn't have like a named channel because he came in too late. But Twilight Chorus is over there, and then I accidentally joined a D&D league.
Really?
Yeah.
Is it like an in-person one or like a virtual one?
Well, I would actually prefer if it was a virtual one, because that's what I want to do with Iron Kingdoms eventually. Which it's so far off right now for that to happen that I haven't talked to you about it. I don't know if you'd be interested in that, or even know what Iron Kingdoms is.
I don't know what it is, but I'm interested.
So, Iron Kingdoms is an RPG system based in the War Machine Hordes world. War Machine and Hordes are a tabletop war game where it's basically steampunk and magic.
Ooh, that sounds fancy.
Yeah, and the horde side of it is all monsters and beastie type things. So um, throughout everything, it creates a very interesting world, and they've definitely done some rich lore in it.
Nice.
So like I've got a campaign in mind. I just have to learn the rule system enough so that I'm not acting like an idiot as the DM. And I just every time I go to it, it's like, okay, I got this far, I have to stop, and I don't know when I'm going to come back to it. So I've got to set some dedicated time for it eventually, and we'll see what happens with that. I'll circle back to that sort of discussion in a bit. But the league that I joined, Sid Snap or something. I'm getting the quiet feedback loop
Oh, like
because you're not using your headphones.
Oh, is it like
But we've got it before too, so I don't know what it is. We'll have to investigate it. It's hard. It's a difficult for people who are listening and do media stuff. It's a difficult problem to sort out.
yeah.
I think it took us like almost a month way back in the day when we had a bunch of people on trying to figure out who was causing the problem and like what was actually causing the problem. And it turned out that it was a bunch of people who had laptops and no headphones because you had computer fans in the mix and you had the noise feeding back through the speakers and picking up on the mic, and it's just a mess. And I wasn't even saying like you had to. It's just, and the more you're quiet, the more it builds up. It stacks.
Oh, I gotcha.
So me rambling for too long doesn't help things.
I see.
But the campaign I joined was Jen's D&D Adventure League. So what was happening is I turned into her Twitch channel or whatever. She was over at the local game store, and she and her friends were rolling up characters, and I was like, they were complaining about the internet. It's like, I'll donate a router right now if it helps. And she was like, come on over, because she didn't think I would do it. So I grabbed the router and I walked over there. I don't know if it'll help, and it definitely didn't help them that night. But maybe once it gets in place, I don't know if it'll be better than the one they have or not. But
So that's how you came about this then, was just by like there were some people at a local game store that you like
yeah, well Jen's one of the weirdlings. And then Danielle's there too, and she's one of the weirdlings. And then Mika was a weirdling. She's kind of estranged right now. So like they were all sitting around with some other guys, and it's like and I just walked in, sat down to hang out, and she was like, you should play with us. And I was like, okay. And it's still like processing that, like, yeah, I'm in a D&D campaign now.
Nice.
Oh, actually two technically, because the Patreon for the weirdlings, I'm in that one too for now.
Just like, do the weirdlings like know you? Do they like? Yeah.
They know who I am. I've met most of them in person. I've harassed them very much throughout the internet. I've been a supporter for well over a year now, almost a year and a half.
And they knew who you were then when they saw you in the game shop? Or?
Yeah, as soon as I walked in, Jen looks over and goes, and then Danielle I've met in person
like
before.
Stalker!
It's like, what are you doing here? But she's a nice lady, so she was excited to see me. She wasn't like, what? And she wouldn't have asked me to join the campaign if it was like that. Because I was like, you sure? And she's like, yeah. And her concern was that, like, do we have enough people? Not, you're a creepy weirdo from the internet. But the chat freaked out. That was the fun part, because I was in the chat talking to people, and I was like, I'm on my way. And then I show up like 20 minutes later, and Biscuit and Darkman and all that, and Fox were like, oh my god, did he teleport? Where's the button to do that?
But do they not know that you're in Austin now, or?
Well, that was the thing, is like, I guess it's not a commonplace thing. And people from all over the thing. I think Fox is in England.
Okay.
Like, yeah, so there's people from all over the world that pay attention to their channel. So for me to just show up after being a person who's in the chat was just like a freak out for the chat. It was really fun.
Nice. That's super cool.
So that was a fun moment. But we've got a bard. Jen's DMing. We've got a war cleric. I'm playing a cleric. We've got I think it's a tiefling rogue and a tiefling bard. So we got 2 tieflings in the party. What was the other one? We got an elven fighter. Mika's playing an elven fighter for whatever reason.
Nice.
They're saying it's atypical. Oh, Octor is in the Twitch chat. Hey, buddy, that's Andrew. He is playing a sorcerer. That's right. So that's funny that one of the other party members showed up in the Twitch chat. I thought that was funny. Sorry, go ahead.
No, yeah. I like the stuff that's like atypical though. That's kind of how I was with my D&D character that I made for the campaign that I played in. It's just like, why not make it weird, right? Like unusual and kind of not typical. Yeah, I don't know.
No, it's good. Apparently it's the tiefling sorcerer and tiefling bard. I don't know what our rogue is playing. Yeah, so we're going to get together bi-weekly for that and play like an hour. It's supposed to be you play an hour, hour and a half or whatever, so it'll probably be 2 hours.
Yeah.
And then get the hell out of there. So way too far. We spent too long. Luckily, I haven't watched anything from Geek and Sundry this past week. I need to catch up on Co-opted 2 for sure. Because that's good stuff.
Yeah.
Spell Slingers? Anything from you?
I actually did not have a chance to go over there and check it out to see if there was anything new on that either.
Yeah, no worries. Like I said, I didn't catch up on Cooperative. It's been a really busy week trying to catch up on general media, TV shows, etc.
Yeah.
And then I'm finding new stuff like, oh god, I mean, we could talk a whole podcast about the new stuff that I'll do on Tuesdays. What? Go over to Jam on Toast 528. And I'll do that on Tuesdays. But I don't want to get into it now. Just suffice to say, I'm catching up on old shows, and I found a bunch of new ones. So,
nice.
Okay, so moving down the list, Rooster Teeth is not doing a weekly game club anymore, so I don't know what the fuck they've got planned there. And then Secret Hitler Sundays, I would like to point you out to youtube.com/totalhalibut. And TB and his friends are doing Secret Hitler Sundays, and if anything that gets TB a little bit of cash to help make his life better, I feel like that's good stuff. I feel like I've enjoyed him and Co-optional Podcast for way too long without being able to give anything back. So if I can promote him just even a little bit on my channel, that's great. And for those who don't know, Secret Hitler is a bluffing social game. It's not like, hey, let's praise Hitler. He's actually the weak power, and it's all about calling your friends liars. Anything from the world of magic? Anything at all, Sid?
The only thing that I have going on in the world of magic right now is I'm actually in the process, and I might go later this evening, perhaps, to go and pick up some cards for my Tiny Leaders deck. I decided to go blue-black, and I'm going to go with Sig, the River Cutthroat. He's, if a player's dealt 3 damage in a turn, you can draw a card. So I'm gonna go card advantage on this deck.
Card advantage. Do you want to explain that? I'm not as well versed in Magic as I used to be, Sid. I'll be honest.
So card advantage would just be, it's like if you're only just drawing 1 card a turn like you would normally, then that's just kind of like regular gameplay. The card advantage is being able to pull multiple cards in a turn.
Doesn't that mill your deck though as well?
It can. I mean, that's where you have to be kind of careful. There's a deck that my coworker is playing with right now where his commander can become a copy of something in an opponent's graveyard. And we played a game the other day at work where both of us, I think, were down to 7. I had 7 cards in my deck left, and he had 8 cards left in his deck. Like he had made a copy of a card that whenever you untap something, you have to, like at the beginning of your upkeep, when you untap, however many permanents you untapped, you'd have to mill that many cards. And so he had an artifact out that did that, and then he played like gosh, I'm trying to remember. It's like some kind of something impersonator card that you can become. It can become a copy of a creature or an artifact, and he just made another copy of the artifact that mills cards. But it does it for everybody, so it's kind of like it's a downside for him and for me. But that just gives him more options, basically. And so it was an interesting game. Those don't normally play out that way, but he's like, even if I do mail myself out because of that, I don't even care. Like, this is fun. Like, this is interesting. It's not usual.
I don't know if you're paying attention to Twitch chat or not, but Craig Jones 123 popped in. You've always got to look after your deck. You don't want to over milk your deck, which I think he meant milled. But
yeah.
Maybe milking is when you pull it to your hand instead of the graveyard. Maybe I'm out of touch. Yeah, I didn't know if you were watching. I wanted to relay that message because I thought that was fun.
No, I appreciate
that people are joining in and talking to you.
Yeah, I think it's cool. Yeah, so that's kind of, especially with the tiny leaders deck where you only have 50 cards. A card draw advantage on that. You're basically looking for a resolution to kill that person like
made, so we will
immediately. Yeah.
Yeah.
It should be interesting. So, and if I like the way that like if I like the card advantage and the card draw from that, and it doesn't really work in the tiny leaders format, then I might just build it into a regular commander deck.
Sorry, you'll need to stroke your deck with care. You'll get a good hand then. I love those superstition type things from back when I used to play. But no, one of the balances for Commander was that because it's a singleton format, that you go to 100 cards, like that helped balance it. Going to 50, I think, definitely helps weaken the decks. But since everyone's that way, everyone's weakened the same way. So I think it keeps the balance.
Yeah, I think so too. So it should be interesting to see. And it kind of just, with this format, and then there was another, I played like a 2DH format, or I'd build a deck that way with like all cards that are less than $2. And it didn't really catch on with the play group at my work. So this is one of those things where it's like there's not that many cards to buy, so it's not a huge cost if people decide not to play it after all. I mean, the $2 one isn't either, but at the same time, it's like when you buy, $2 or $52 cards, it's $100 versus like trying to keep things a little bit more cost efficient with 50 cards, and half of those are going to be land anyway. So
half? You do half land?
Not quite half, no. But I mean, just in the way of purchasing, like, I already have some of the cards that I need for it, so I would need to, like, purchase a ton of cards.
Has the formula shifted? It used to be 1/3 land.
Yeah. I misspoke on that.
No, I mean, well, it's legit. It's legitimate. I mean, given all the cards and the way everything's grown, it could very well be a different formula these days versus how it used to be. Because, I mean, we could have gone from 1/3 land to, like, 3/5 land or something. I don't know.
Yeah, no, this one is definitely, it's like, I asked my coworker who kind of got me into this originally, and I asked him, I said, well, how many lands are you putting in your deck? And he's like, what, I'm not sure yet. So I know he built his, and I don't know what his final say was on it. And everything's converted mana cost 3 or less, so chances are you probably aren't going to need as many lands as you would usually.
And I will say, like, back in the day, like, I used to aim for 20, and then, like, I would put in, like, sets of 4, and then if I didn't have a 4 set, I would just fill the blank with land. Unless I had, like, if I had less than 4 extra empty, I would just throw in some extra land. Unless I was playing goblins, because, fuck, you don't need that. Unless you're just mono-starved. Because that was always fun, because, like, everything in the deck costs, like, 1 or 2.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know why you have a goblin deck that has anything with more than 3. Like, if you threw a king in there, that's great. The only card that I can think of offhand would be, like, a siege commander.
Right.
Yeah, and he's 5, but you get, like, 4 critters out of him?
Right.
Yeah, you get some tokens. Yeah, okay. So that's it for Magic?
That's it for Magic for me today.
Okay.
Go on about it too much. Do you have the link for the Twitch channel? I just want to be in the chat.
Oh, it's twitch.tv/Kamurai25. I thought you had pulled it up already.
I was in the process of doing it. I just didn't know what the.
You don't follow me on Twitch? You break my heart.
Do you follow me on Twitch?
I think I do. Type something in the chat so that I can get your screen name. So we're gonna go into a minute of magic here, and I'm gonna cover Sid's face up with a map because I just thought of this. So this is the very center of our world. We built this little encampment. This was actually mostly. Oh, can you see my mouse? You can't. Okay. So this was mostly like water here, so we actually built it over to do the farmlands, and that's mostly what this is. We expanded the farms here. This is like the warehouse and other couple buildings, and then they build an animal pen to put their snakes in because they're stupid kids, and that's what they do. And then we built this expansion over here, and we haven't done anything with it because mostly what I've been working on, you'll see these gray lines, is I started making tracks, but like I don't have the railroads for it yet. Can I do that? Oh, I can do it that way. So about 500 out, I built a road, let's say, and then I built a tunnel underneath it, so that's where the rail will end up going. And the big accomplishment that I've done recently, because this has gone fairly far out, like I don't think I've done west properly, because that's out in the water, and then skeletons show up, they knock you in the water, and it sucks. I don't know who explored down here, honestly, but that you see all these pink spots are fruit trees and stuff from the more ore mods. And right here, I started building the first junction out. So this is 500 out, and I started building west from there. But I'll probably come back here and do east to connect over this landmass. And I started going south a ways, but I don't. Given all this mess, it looks like it's just gonna be a lot of water. So I'm trying to find the more interesting lands, because a lot of the Mo creature mods don't spawn in the desert, except for scorpions, and I'm not even seeing those, so I don't know what's happening. And then some jerk, hey Matt, went and made a thing up there, but yeah, I don't know. That's really all it's up with Magic. I haven't done a whole lot, and it takes a while to do anything that I'm doing with that too. So, but yeah, I'm glad I figured out how to do a map again, with a little less work too than I used to do.
Good job.
Yay! Oh yeah, creepy campy. Warped out of... Oh, you're talking to people. Okay. Yeah, I follow you.
Alright.
Act like I'm a jerk. Sid Vicious indeed. Okay, so Neko Atsume, let's get on to mobile gaming. Have you pulled this out yet? Looked at it?
Which one?
Neko Atsume?
No.
Alright, I've got some sashimi out. I got Lady Meow Meow. Okay, so real quick.
That's the little cat.
Yeah.
Deal,
so
right?
I'm on the celebrity cats at this point. And there's Joe DiMaggio.
Sweet. Do you know that the real Joe DiMaggio he lived in the town that I grew up in?
I did not know that.
Yeah.
But I've had Xerxes showing up for a while there. He's got a little scarf on.
Ooh.
Miss Sassy Franz has shown up to work the cafe. You can notice how much darker she is than the other cat below it. That means that you haven't seen her.
African American, or
no?
Oh, you haven't seen her. Okay.
Yeah, not that. Jesus.
This podcast is inappropriate for all ages.
No, I totally agree, and that's definitely inappropriate. But fuck.
Sorry.
But Lady Meow Meow, there's like a Lady Gaga type cat. There's a Mr. Meowgi that has shown up, and like I didn't catch him, but like he'll go and he'll karate chop the log, I think. So after I get that and I finish buying all the gold level products, I'm done with that. There won't be anything else to do, and it's not that entertaining by itself.
Yeah.
So if you have any mobile gaming idea or things at all?
I don't. I don't know. Like I don't game on my phone a whole ton. I know that there was like a puzzle game that my friend had shown me at one point that looked kind of interesting, but it was like a $3 or $4 game. And I'm not all about buying the games, the mobile games necessarily, so.
It's definitely a black hole. And I'll be happy to be done with that segment entirely, at least until I buy Final Fantasy Tactics for my phone.
Yeah.
That'll be a day of mixed emotion for me. Like, I have this, well, it's on my phone. What do I do?
Aww.
Because it will steal my life away, I'm sure. So going on to gaming goals, and this is just kind of what I've been calling like the what we've played segment, like because you and I have similar goals in like we just have to get past life to play something during the week.
Yes.
And that's kind of our goal. So it's like, what did we accomplish in that realm? Tabletop Simulator.
Oh boy.
I got my mod pushed out.
Okay.
It does not look pretty compared to the other one, because in the 2 months since I finished it, and I just didn't put it up because I wanted to arrange it better. And then I finally get the chance 2 months later, and I just like, fuck it, put it up. Someone else put it up, and they made like these table extensions with PDFs, and it looks really nice, I'll be honest, but I hate it. I don't like that everything's out, that I have to deal with everything right there. I'd much rather it be in like discrete little baggies that I can delete and be done with it if I don't need it.
Okay.
So that's how mine's laid out, and I don't have any like pictures or advertisements or anything for it because I don't care. It's not what it's there for. So when you load my mod up, it's just a bunch of bags sitting around the table, and if you hover over the bags, they tell you which components are in each bag.
Okay.
So I finally got that done. I had 2 major issues with this, though. It took me a week to figure out why my boards were super tiny. And it's because there's a function that I guess it got updated while I was gone. If you hit the plus equals key, not the plus key on the 10 pad, the plus equals key, it'll grow or shrink your models. And I could not figure that out because I was hitting plus on the 10 key and it wasn't doing anything.
Okay.
So I finally got the boards to go to the right size, and it's like, finally. So I got that done, and then I was like, oh, it's done. I can push it up and it'll publish it and it'll be fine. And then I remembered that, oh, it's not even face up. Oh, that makes the dramatic reveal that I got this Ninja AllStars. I don't know if I showed this off or not, but I got the Kickstarter in, and this is now available for the public, so it's not a big a thing. But I got this in, and this has compatible cards for Super Dungeon Explorer.
Ooh.
So you can now play as / fight ninjas in Super Dungeon Explorer.
Nice.
And the big demon things are the mini bosses. So, have you played Super Dungeon Explorer yet?
I have not.
God, if I can squeeze the time out of your schedule for a session, you and I will. I will make the time.
Okay, well, when are we gonna do it then?
Oh God, if we were in a better headspace for it, I would say just do it tonight.
Oh yeah.
But you know what? Tell you what. After this, let's look at it and see how you feel, and then you can tell me no, and that'll be fine.
Okay.
Because I think fighties or something like that would be much more our speed. Because we're both feeling kind of weird and grumpy this weekend. I'm glad you agree.
Yep.
That was a cute sneeze, by the way.
Cute.
See that's like on the verge of cute and annoying, like those little squeakies.
No, I don't sneeze like that.
No, you were being cute, but it's. I was like, oh, that's almost annoying.
Annoying of how cute it is. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, okay. And I realize that I can do this too because it's very important to support your game companies. So I always like to have the physical product. on Friday, I hit you and Kevin up just to see what was going on. But my buddy Eric and I got on Tabletop Simulator because I need to play more with it, so I feel more comfortable with it. And we played Tano Curry. If you're unaware, I always think that's a weird thing for these boxes to do, to have like a reveal for a full body image. Because the Barbarossa one's horrible. Have I shown you that?
No.
Okay, I'm pretty sure I did, because I used to let this game sit on my desk.
Or maybe, I mean...
I'm glad I'm wearing pants, for the record.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, whatever.
Ha 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 ha.
So, here's Barbarossa.
Oh, yeah, I remember you showing that to me. And
It's like, oh, panties.
yeah, and she's posed very suggestively as well.
She's holding the ammo for the tank. I don't know how you...
Her legs.
It's not even between her legs, is it?
It is totally between her legs. Come on, how can you not see that?
You're right. I actually do. I had a bad perspective on it. I thought it was behind her other leg.
Oh, no.
My bad. But, yeah, so we played Tano Curry, and we played it incorrectly because I'm used to the iPad version. Because this is the first copy of the real physical game I've ever had, and it was misprinted. So they're still sending me the replacement pack for the stuff that's missing. But I play on the iPad, and it has 10 maids. It always has the same 10 maids that are there. And then we got into the game, there were 16. So I was like, let's just play with all of them.
Wow, why not?
Yeah, and you're supposed to select them. And there's no randomizer deck. Because you're just supposed to take one from each and then randomize it and then put them back. Which is annoying. I'd much rather have randomizing cards. Which, the big box, which is up there somewhere. Where's my finger? Yeah, so that's what this is. That came with randomizer cards. Which is the main reason I got it. Because the box itself is not great. It's cool. It's a cool thing to have on a shelf, but to tote around, there's no way I'm doing that. You having problems in the chat there?
I'm so distracted by the chat. I'm like, I don't know what's going on.
All right.
Anyway. Someone said somebody looks like their dad, and now I've got like the complex that they're, like that I look like a man.
Wait,
but
what?
They're probably talking about you or somebody else. And then Craig was talking about his deck, and I'm like, and many hands on his deck, and I'm just like, oh boy.
Oh no, Milky Pirate was just okay. I guess he was talking about me. I don't. It's always strange when people say I look like somebody. Because, like, my first response is, like, I'm sorry. Like, no one else should have to look like me.
Sorry I look like your dad?
No, I'm sorry that your dad looks like me. That's my thought process.
Well, I mean, chances are, they came first.
Well, it depends. Well, at this point, it depends. I'm old enough to be people's dad now.
Yeah, I suppose that is true. Yeah?
Wait, hold on. Mookie Dukes actually said something interesting. Have you the box art for it has not vary when the reused art for the other model? Barbarossa, is that what you're talking about, buddy? Hit me up in the chat. But let's continue. So for gaming together, that's where like we play video games. I want to get us into that because we haven't done a first official episode for that since we came up with it as a concept. We did Castle Crashers and we had problems.
That's right, because most of it didn't make the
Yeah, and I don't want to go back and play it just you and me again. If we can get 2 other people and do a 4-player, I think that'd be a lot of fun. But I don't want to go back just you and me and play that.
No, I don't. I wouldn't be down for that either.
Yeah.
But I think we have some new game stuff that's totally stuff that we could do. I don't know, I know that we played Ticket to Ride last week, which was a lot of fun, because I haven't played that in a while, and I was excited to actually play it since you gifted it to me. And I don't know, how well that plays in a...
How long ago was that? I don't even remember doing it.
Ago. It was
Jesus.
So long ago, I know. But I don't know what that looks like in a gaming together session. Is that something that people want to watch? I don't know.
I mean, gaming together is pretty much like what we were talking, like what we did for Ticket to Ride, except with a video game instead of a digital board game.
Yeah, that's true.
Board gaming, not board gaming, is just for digital board games. Or real life ones if I can get people around to do it.
Right. Well, see, and that's the thing. It's like, man, if I could get people, if I could get, if I could get people on board to be recorded for, and if I could get a setup at my office that showed us gaming on Fridays, because like I don't work on Fridays, so I could easily get stuff set up ahead of time and not be like limited to my lunch break.
Yeah.
And I might have to talk to somebody about that, actually, about seeing if they would be down to do that, because I think that would be kind of interesting, like, as a contribution to, thing. Just, like, the way that we interact and stuff, and there's, like, a couple of different games going at the same time, too, which is kind of fun. Like, I mean, we could talk about what we played later, but, yeah.
No, anyway. I was going to say, like, yeah, just get in there and find a way to do an overhead camera and just stream it. If they'll let you.
Yeah, I need to figure out how to do that.
I mean, you have a laptop, right?
Yes.
Just take a laptop in, take your webcam with you, and just do one overhead camera and stream out to Twitch using OBS.
Yeah.
It is so much easier to do this now than it used to be.
I just don't know how to set up like an overhead camera.
Okay, that's the trick, and we'll have to like look at like supplies you have around, because the way I used to do it is I used to have a microphone stand that I would like have tilt over, and then I would rig the microphone stand to stay at a 90-degree angle, and then I would hang the camera off of that. Or I would like put a tripod in my bookcase above my head while I was playing. I would do it that way.
Okay.
There are options. It's just to do true overhead, like it is kind of difficult without some proper equipment. Is it drop ceilings?
I'm not. Yeah, I think it is actually. Yeah.
You could take like some 550 quarter rope or whatever you have and just hang it from there. A lot of tripods have. Sorry, kitties. This hook on the end that lets you do stuff like that.
Oh, okay.
So you can either pop it out or whatever, and you got that. I'm sorry, that was a weird kind of technical diverge from gaming, but
Oh yeah, no, okay, that's.
But it was about filming gaming, so I feel good with it. I did just ruin the height on that one, but that's okay. I'll figure that out later. Yeah, I don't care what chat's doing. Go ahead, go nuts, people.
I'm like looking at the chat and just being like, wait,
Yeah, it's just far enough off things that I don't care, because it's not anything that I'm going to talk about, but they're having fun, so good for them. But we've got a bunch of games available, like Fighties and Left 4 Dead, that we can do for gaming together, and I think that'll be fun. I just want to get like one official episode out there where I know that I'm filming it correctly and we're not going back and forth with all the issues. Because I think a lot of the Castle Crasher issues were trying to, me deal with tech issues that I was having that I no longer have.
Right.
And trying to get you set up for streaming correctly. Which I think you fixed everything by doing Fallout. Like, I think...
Oh, right, yeah.
I think that's where you finally found it. Anything you've been playing?
So, this is probably one of the main reasons I actually agreed to come on the show today. Because I actually did play something, and I was excited to talk about it, even though I was originally in a crappy mood, but I'm feeling a little bit better now. Because I saw your precious face, and I was just like, oh, Kitty, thank you for showing me your precious face.
He's like trying to get away. I'm like, no, stay in the camera.
Oh. So I played Machi Koro on Friday.
Oh, yes, tell us about this.
Yeah, Machi Koro. So I bought from my local game shop down in Seattle. It's called Cafe Mox or Card Kingdom. It's kind of like a combo place. Anyway, they were having like a game sale the other day, and I bought like the the deluxe edition that comes with like the special tin, and it comes with 2 expansions, like the Harbor expansion and the Millionaire expansion. This one, since this is the first time that I had played and a couple of other people at my work had played, we just played the original game, but we will more than likely play with some of the expansions this upcoming Friday. And it was a lot of fun, actually. And see, because on Fridays we've been playing Dominion, which is also a ton of fun. Like, I love Dominion. There's something about Machi Koro, though, that was, because you're actually a little bit more involved with the players in the game. With Dominion, you're kind of like focused on your own thing.
Yeah, Dominion, it's like I'm building a castle. Who's the biggest boss?
Yeah, and every once in a while, like if you are playing with attack cards, like there is some slight interaction with other players, but it doesn't happen nearly as often as it did in Machi Koro. And so that to me was a little bit more fun because there's a little bit more involvement in the people that you're playing with, and a little bit more strategy and that sort of thing too. So
not more strategy, but I would say it's a very different strategy.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, a different strategy. So I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a lot of fun. It was a nice change of pace from Dominion. So I will sort of have like a little bit of a decision to make though next Friday. It was like, okay, do I play Machi Koro again or do I play Dominion? Or we had a new guy come and join us who brought a Marvel, like a DC Comics card building or deck building game. That it was all about like superheroes and their superpowers and whatever else, at least just from the little bit that I gauged just from overhearing them, because we all sit in the same conference room and play on the same table, but like one half the table is one game and one half the table is the other game. But regardless of that, yeah, there's a lot of game that's going on. We're trying to see if our company can sponsor like a game library, and so that'd be kind of cool.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so like the company that I work for is really big on like getting people to stay in the office for lunch so that you get to know your coworkers and you spend time with your coworkers, because their thought is like, oh well, you're with these people all day, you should try to like them, probably. I don't know.
No, and I think gaming's a good way to do that. People like to make fun of gaming as like an antisocial behavior, which is not the case at all.
Seriously? That's just like the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
No, but they attack video games the same way, but board games especially, it makes no sense. Board gaming is very social.
Yeah.
And that's a continuation of the misuse of the word antisocial. It's non-social is what they mean. And it's just kind of silly. You loaded up Fighties? Okay.
I did. I was just making sure that I actually had it installed.
You realize we're going to get music and everything, right? Okay.
I just realized that. Sorry.
And that's fine.
Oh my god, I'm so sorry!
Yeah, you made a mistake.
Shit!
Mute your... can I mute you?
Probably.
No, that mutes me.
I'm exiting.
Just turn off your mic.
There it goes.
But, shit show. No, but that's a big thing, is like to get people socialized, and gaming is a good way to get people socialized if they like doing things instead of purely socializing, because not everyone's like that. I'm definitely not like that. But I'll sit down and play a game with almost anybody, and I just don't know. It's a different thing to me. But Machi Koro is good stuff. It's a tableau builder that works on a randomizing system, very similar to Catan. So you're working with a permutation of 1 or 2 through 12. And correct me if I'm wrong, the attacks that happen in that are like global effects. It's like everyone who isn't you, or like everyone who has an odd number of victory points, or something like that, right?
The way that my experience with it was like the cafe. So if we had one guy who had like 3 cafes, and whoever rolled a 3 had to pay him 3 coins per cafe he had. That was the one thing that I was a little bit unsure about, and that we were trying to figure out, but I don't know if there was anything in the booklet on. It was just like, so one guy had 3 cafes, and then another guy had 1 cafe. So if I roll 3 and I have to pay him 3 coins for each cafe he has, it's 9 coins to him, and then the other guy gets 3 coins because he's got one cafe. But I only have like 7 coins. Then like who gets how many coins? Like
I believe it goes in clockwise order.
Oh, I see. Okay,
But
yeah.
I could be wrong. It's been a minute since I looked at that rule book. And I'm not saying it's not a fun game. I didn't particularly enjoy it, but I only played the original game. So I played like the proof of concept as far as I'm concerned. That like, oh yeah, this is a game. You roll some dice and you buy some things, and other things happen. And maybe I didn't spend long enough with it. I didn't feel that compulsion. It's like I'd rather play Catan because it's just how my brain works. I think I'm used to Catan, and that's
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I liked it, and I think I liked it better than Catan because there's just a sense of there's an additional sense of randomness in this in the cards that are laid out for you to purchase. And there's also, it's like once somebody buys something, I guess in their way of like blocking you on the map in Catan, that's kind of the dick move that you could do there. But it's like you get so hyper focused on what you could have had on Catan because you're looking at the board the whole time, versus like the cards that are there. Once they picked it up and they have it over on their side of the table, you kind of like let that go. In my opinion at least. And then
I have the exact opposite. Like I see that better with the cards than I do on the board.
That's funny because like for me it's like if there's a path, if I had a path in mind, if that path's been blocked, then I'm kind of like, well, fuck, I don't know what to do now. Like if I wanted to do longest road, that's totally gone now.
No.
But with cards, there's like, it seems like there's more options, at least, in my opinion. I don't know.
No, there's more options at any given point, yes. But like, to me, like, I'm very much a war gamer. I can look at a board and see what the physical dominance of the board is. So if I actually get blocked, I saw it coming most of the time. So,
sure.
like, I'm already, by the time it happens, I'm already okay with it. Like, oh, you blocked me, you dick. It's like, I'm going over here then. Because there's been a couple cool races I've had going for, like, a certain spot or a certain pathway, and it is what it is what it is.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're having fun. But,
in Twitch chat with us.
I'm not touching that. I know better. Anything else you've been playing?
No. I think that was the only one this week.
Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to future gaming and stuff. It's our last little segment, if you will. Of course, I'm going to play some more Minecraft at some point this week because it's kind of the thing.
Obviously.
I want to read more on the Battlestar Galactica rules. I should probably start throwing Iron Kingdoms back on here and be like, hey, but once I get the Battlestar Galactica rules down, I think that'll be a thing. But I also want to learn Ninja AllStars properly. Because it's essentially Blood Bowl without the ball, so it's going to be a complicated enough system that I'm going to have to figure it out, and you got to look for exploits and most efficient team builds, etc., etc.
Mm-hmm.
And then tabletop soon. I want to play Forgotten King, so you and I might actually be able to do that. Maybe not this week even, but next week or something. And then Star Realms, I want to get back to board gaming, not board gaming. I want to get through that more so that I can go back and play Star Realms on my phone and not feel bad about it. And then maybe Fighties.
Oh, yes, the Fighties.
I
am prepared to just totally fail at that. Although it's like I totally failed at Ticket to Ride last week, too, and that for some reason didn't feel like as bad. I don't know.
You didn't totally fail. You did fine. I'm trying to think of, like, anything I could say about that. But no, you did fine. You didn't fail spectacularly. You did a good enough job. I did a little better than you on both.
Still a lot better than me on the first one. You did a little bit better.
When was the last time you played Ticket to Ride, though?
It had been a while.
I'd played it like 2 weeks ago, so I had my refresher.
Alright, I guess I don't feel so bad about it anymore.
And then I'm used to playing the 1910 expansion, which adds some different aspects that kind of help train you into things. And I say that, and maybe they don't really help you train in things. It's just, it gives you more things to think about, so it works you into playing more efficient routes and whatnot. Plus, I think it's a totally different game at 2 players. Usually,
2 versus, like, 3, right?
yeah, usually you play 3 to 5, like, for Ticket to Ride.
Yeah, that's true.
Not be able to use the double routes changes the game drastically.
Yeah, I can see that.
We had talked about Left 4 Dead at some point. I don't know if you're still excited about that.
It's like I've attempted to start playing Left 4 Dead before, and it's the perspective on it kind of gets me a little bit sometimes. I'm one of those gaming people that has issues with like first person type perspectives.
Isn't it third person?
For some reason, I remember it being first person, kind of, and that it's a little bit more awkward to play in a third person, but you can. So, I'm down to give it a try.
Okay, we'll have to experiment with that at some point. But yeah, and then Star Realms, we got to get you trying that. Have you tried that out at all yet?
No.
Put it on your list of things to do because it's available on PC, iOS, Android for free.
Really?
Yeah, and then and then it's cross-platform too. So your data will transfer over to your account with White Moon or whatever it is, and then you can pick it up anywhere else you go. There's expansions you can buy. You can buy an official account that'll let you play multiplayer and whatever. But I think that's only $5. So it's free to try, and then if you want to get more serious about it, you can pay.
Okay.
It's a really good model. Because usually, like, people do like shitty demos where they cut you off, and it's like, ha ha ha, you can't play this anymore unless you give us money. And it's like,
yeah, okay,
but you can play like a legitimate like few chapters or whatever with this, and they're like, okay, this is the end of the free line. Hopefully, you enjoyed it enough to pay for the full version. It's just the way it feels is a lot different than you get in most games. And you can't play multiplayer, which makes sense without having a full membership. Oh man. Okay, I said we can go ahead and wrap this up.
All right, that sounds good.
I just don't have a lot to talk about than things like I wish I could play. Because I don't have time or money to do it. What was I going to say? So, at 6 p.m. Central, about 7 minutes from now, you can go over to youtube.com/weirdlanes and watch Dominions of Estlin. That's going to be rebroadcasting live. I don't know if does that even make sense to say it that way?
Rebroadcasting live?
Yeah, because that's what it's doing. It's doing a live rebroadcasting, but it sounds weird.
Yeah.
So they're doing that on Wednesday. Not this Wednesday, but March 2nd is going to be the first D&D Adventure League I'm going to be part of over on twitch.tv/mayhems_muse. So that's where that's going to be at. And then I'm sure at some point tonight, if it's not already happening, youtube.com/totalhalibut Secret Hitler Sundays. So that's my promotional stuff that's not me. Of course, I do lots of stuff. I don't have the play card or anything up, but there'll be annotations at the end. Okay, I'm just straining at this point. Which I'm usually not, because I just don't feel like I got enough time to start more in-depth conversations. And usually we're struggling to make it shorter. I think I did that too much this time.
Yeah, I think we cut some things short that we probably didn't need to, but at this point, it's like, sometimes you just gotta be done talking about it.
Yeah. Fine, I'll sign us out. So, until you see us next time, I am Kamurai.
And I'm Sid Cam, or Creepy Campy, or,
You're gonna have to make a decision at some point, love.
I know.
And that's... game over.
Sure.
If you want to see anything else we're up to, go ahead and click the annotations, and they'll take you to our other channels. Thanks for watching.